What's up, everybody? It's Simon from Lake Hub. We are hitting the road. We're still talking about gearing up for a road trip. I've got tons of experience and tons of tips to help you out. We've already talked about how to prepare for a wreck, how to prepare for a medical traumatic emergency. Now, this is part 2 of our 6-part series. We're taking care of our cars. Let's jump in the back. So next, you need to prepare for vehicular failure. If you have a mechanical failure, flat tire, something like that on the road, you want to have all your tools in one spot instead of, having to unpack and just be in a scrambled mess. So I like to keep everything in a duffel bag. It's got straps, it's got pockets, it's got everything separated out, so it works out really well. I always make sure to have my owner's manual as well as a repair manual. A repair manual is not the owner's manual and vice versa. This will help you out more than an owner's manual. I also like to have an aftermarket jack. That's my personal preference. I don't like spare tire jacks that come with cars and trucks. They're made to be small and fit in weird spaces. They're not made to be great jacks. It also helps, especially if you have a truck, if you've got a truck that's lifted, 4-wheel drive or something like that, or a big heavy duty SUV, is to have some shims. So if I'm traveling with my camper, I happen to have them with me because I use them for leveling the camper. But all you really need are, a couple blocks, like 2x4s or something like that. I'll usually throw some 2x4s in here just because it's handy to be able to use them for shims for jacking up, the vehicle, or using it in as chocks to make sure that you don't roll away while you're jacking up the vehicle, or both. So having 4, small 2x4 chunks is really handy, because sometimes, depending on the angle that you break down on, if you have a flat tire and you're like in a weird angle and you're kind of off the road, your jack might be maxed out and still not lift it high enough for you to change the tire. So that puts you in a real pinch. A jumper box. This is a small jumper box. They have real big ones, but I can jump start my vehicle off this as long as it's charged. So make sure it's charged before you hit the road. You can also charge, there's an inverter on it, so you can charge anything off of it. You can charge your phone, you can charge your laptop or whatever. So this can come in handy if you're in a situation where you're stranded and your phone's dying, if you're losing your communications, you want to make sure that you've got power. So a jumper box can really help you out in a pinch, make sure that you're in control of your own destiny. Speaking of flat tires, also make sure that you actually have all the tools that you need to be able to get the spare tire out. Ran into that situation twice recently. One, where I got a vehicle used, I never checked to make sure I had it. And lo and behold, I didn't even have the tools to be able to get the spare tire down. So I had to order some in. Glad I checked before I actually needed them. Another situation is that on another vehicle is that something had come up off the road and bent the tube. So on a truck and a big SUV, spare tire's gonna be right down underneath me. There's a big long tube that you feed this rod through and then crank it down, and there's like a winch that cranks it down. The tube was bent. I still haven't figured out how to get the spare tire off. I don't know. I have no idea. So check all that and make sure that you can actually get to your spare tire. Not to mention, make sure it's the right size, make sure it's aired up and all that kind of stuff before you hit the road. A full-size spare is gonna save you a world of headache when you're out on the open road. To that end, I really like a folding 4-way. So this thing puts together in a hurry. It stays stowed away really well, and this will get your tire off way faster than your stock kit right here. So to me, this is a no-brainer. This always has to go with me. It's also good to have sockets. So it could be a small set like this. It doesn't have to be your big set, but sockets, really handy. And along with that, some Knipex pliers. Knipex with a K. These are so handy. These can be made to be any size, metric, standard, whatever, and they're basically like really fancy channel locks. I don't leave without these. This is the most versatile tool in my entire bag here. Some Knipex pliers. Other things we have in here just in case, we've got jumper cables, of course. Make sure you have jumper cables 6 foot or longer. 6 foot is really, anything shorter than that, and you have to be touching nose to nose pretty much to be able to use them. So make sure you have 6 foot. That way you can go side to side or even longer. The longer you have, the better it's going to be for you. Old towels. You hate to be crawling under, Lord knows what, crawling on top of Lord knows what when you're out in the middle of the desert or whatever. Throw an old towel in here. Now you've got something to lay on while you're working on stuff. All right, we got some more goodies in here. Paper maps. Okay, old man, yeah, paper maps. Again, take control of your own destiny. You need to be able to tell where you're going, even when you don't have cell service. Yes, in 2021, there are places in the United States of America that don't have cell service. Get out on the road, you'll find out. If you break down, get a flat tire, you're totally stuck, and you can't help yourself, next thing to check is your insurance. Check the back of your insurance card. You might have roadside assistance. Give them a call, because a lot of times these days, agents or what have you will add that automatically. It's a minimal charge, and that'll really help you out. Another thing I like to do is change some of my regular stuff before it breaks. Change your belts and hoses before they break. Change your spark plugs before they totally foul up, because you can take the old stuff, throw it in here for just in case. I've had the situation where a $2 spark plug put me dead in the water in the middle of East Texas. I mean, miles from anywhere. But thankfully I had a backup. Same thing with a belt. A $7 belt, $10 belt can put you dead in the water in the middle of the desert. Don't let that happen to you. Put some spare parts in here. You don't need to buy ahead. Just when you change them out, or if you have a mechanic do all that work, just say, hey, throw all the old stuff into a box or a gallon Ziploc bag, throw it under the seat. You have it in case you need it.